Opposition House Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, the Cowichan Hospital Replacement Project is already well over 3 years behind schedule, and it's a shocking $850 million over budget. But, Mr. Speaker, if you thought that this boondoggle was bad enough, last week we heard the NDP express only a half-truth with respect to the current proposed cost on the Royal BC's Museum's warehousing facility in Colwood. Instead of that facility being $46 billion over the initial budget estimate, which the NDP would have British Columbians believe, the actual budget is now nearly double that. Costs have ballooned to a staggering $93 million over budget, and it's 2 years behind schedule. And Mr. Speaker, they haven't even broken ground and started construction on this project yet. Headlines are already proclaiming the return of NDP Fudge-It Budgets, and we haven't even made it to the budget tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, my question is this. If the NDP are applying this level of spin to the museum boondoggle, how can British Columbians have any trust in tomorrow's budget numbers?
Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture.
Thank you for the question, and I can tell the member that I was very happy about the announcement last week because it means that we're ready to move forward, break ground this summer and get a very important building up and going to house our over 7 million artifacts and shared history of British Columbia. So in July 2020, the original budget came out. And I will admit that there was an increase, and that was also revealed in an announcement that came out. So I don't expect the member to follow along on budget announcements, but I can say that 2.5 years ago, we were asked to go back and find energy efficiencies, use the lens of Clean BC to come back with a very sustainable plan. We did that. And then the announcement last week was a reflection of the cost of doing business these days, which I am sure the members understand. So we have now landed on a fixed price contract with two excellent companies, one Canadian firm that is known for its sustainability design, and an architect firm from Vancouver that is also well known for its sustainability. So from this project, we will not only protect our shared interest in 7 million artifacts, but we're also going to find that about 1,000 direct and indirect jobs will come of this, and we have room for 25 years of growth. On this side of the House, we believe that protecting our shared history is important, and I would hope that the other side would as well.
Opposition House Leader Supplemental.
Well, Mr. Speaker, only the NDP would call a $100 million cost escalation on a project a sustainable plan. A sustainable plan for a project that nobody asked for and nobody wants, $100 million more than the original budget. The collections building was supposed to cost $177 million, and it was supposed to be completed by next year, 2024. But as I said a moment ago, it's already nearly $100 million, or 52% over budget, and construction hasn't started. Meanwhile, downtown, here in Victoria, the museum has been half-gutted for 15 months since the government abruptly closed down Old Town and the entire third floor. British Columbians deserve better than a half-empty museum in Victoria and an empty field in Colwood. Mr. Speaker, my question to the Premier is this. When will the Premier admit that the collections facility is a complete and utter boondoggle? When will he scrap this project and instead do a modest upgrade of the museum across the street, including the reopening of Old Town and the entire third floor?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Well, I do have a different opinion than the member. I think people do want us to be able to house our 7 million artifacts of shared history and protect that. I think British Columbians understand that For the past many years, there's been great concern about the archives and the fact that a lot of our really important documents are stored under sea level. That is not ideal, and we risk losing these important documents of our history. I'm not sure the member also understands the scope of what we're talking about. This building out on the West Shore will be an amazing place, not just for storing our 7 million artifacts, but there's opportunities for education, K through 12. There's post-secondary educational activities, and there will also be incredible research opportunities. This will be something that we will see international visitors come for. These 7 million artifacts are very diverse. They go from an 11,000 artifact collection from Emily Carr, but we also have an incredible amount of other types of artifacts. The member might not know this, but we do have an artifact called Buster. This is a Ferrosaurus, otherwise known as the iron lizard of the Sault River. It is the first unique species of dinosaur found and identified in British Columbia. Those are things we need to protect, and we need to be able to show British Columbians what they have.
Members.